All right, let's begin. Everyone, for those that don't know me, my name is Brian Qual, the founder of MPH Tech Academy. And if you guys have been attending these webinars so far, you guys know that we do job search strategy, anything from resume revamps to today is going to be a LinkedIn optimization. And I have here Dan joining me as one of our mentors, and he's previously in recruiting as well. Dan, did you want to give a quick intro?
Yes. Hello, everyone. I was a part of the resume revamp workshop last week, if you didn't know, but just if you haven't attended that one, just a really quick overview about myself. I have around 4 years of recruiting experience. I have experience at a variety of different industries, healthcare, high tech, and also agency as well. Some of my general highlights is having worked at enterprise companies like Adobe, and also have supported other clients like Workday, EY, Crunchyroll, Dolby. So I kind of have recruited across non-technical and technical roles. And it's a really nice pleasure to be able to help some of you guys out here in terms of your LinkedIn optimization.
Excellent. Yes. And this is the agenda for today. We're going to do a quick recap of the four-step framework, if anyone doesn't know that yet. And then we're going to go over LinkedIn, a high-level overview of why you should be using LinkedIn and why we're kind of biased towards using that. And then we're going to go over the LinkedIn profile optimizations. And we're going to do live reviews for all your LinkedIn profiles. So please let us know and volunteer in the chat. I want you guys to be super active and interactive in this chat right here. So feel free to raise your hand if you guys have any questions as well. And then we'll save the last 5 to 10 minutes for just Q&A and any other questions that you guys have. Cool. Awesome. Well, quick recap on how it all started. I was selling car parts from 2013 to 2017, and I made good money doing it, but I realized I wasn't passionate about it anymore. And then I got into debt and I had to shut down my business, and I really didn't want to go back to a traditional 9 to 5. So I was lucky enough to find a tech boot camp to teach me the fundamental skills of revamping my resume, how to use tech tools like LinkedIn, and learning KPIs. And that's how I kind of broke into tech sales as my first company. And it took me over 120 companies that I applied to before I even landed my first tech sales role. So for those that applied to less than this and you're feeling unmotivated, those are some metrics for you to keep pushing through, hopefully. And if you got higher than that, let's keep diving deep into how we can change that and convert a lot higher. All right. And since then, after breaking through tech, I had the opportunity of joining Uber, YouTube, and Google, to name a few, but also landing interviews for myself and other people at these companies as well. So this is the same framework that I've used again and again to land all my opportunities that I'm teaching you guys right here. And everyone at MPH Tech Academy basically knows this simple framework. But last week we went over the resume revision, what to put on your resume, how to stand out, how to get through the ATS system. This week, we're going to go over how to optimize your LinkedIn so that recruiters actually start reaching out to you. All these companies will reach out to you. And I know that sounds kind of different and totally opposite, but it's true. All my opportunities that I've personally landed was because I kind of reverse engineered and learned the algorithm for LinkedIn. And that's what we're going to go over today. All right. First, why LinkedIn? This is an old slide, maybe about 2 years ago, but it's the most relevant still to this day, at least that I could find. But instead of 660 million users on LinkedIn, it's now over 900 million users. And what does that mean for you as a job seeker? There are over 37% of adults using this between the ages of 30 and 49, which means most likely your employer or hiring manager / recruiter is going to be on this platform looking for you. But if you're not even on this platform, you won't even be found, right? And over 30 million companies, probably 40 to 50 million companies now, are on this platform. So literally, most companies are using this platform to network and find their talent. So if you're not on this platform, they can't find you. And here are some stats that I thought were pretty interesting and pretty relevant for 2023 as well as 2022 for LinkedIn. And you guys can, I'm going to share this deck in the chat so you guys can have access to this. Let me know if that works in the chat. Just give me a quick thumbs up or, like, emoji it to see if you can actually pull it up. There you go. I see you guys going into it. Okay, awesome. Great, great. Yeah, so you guys can follow along right here. But some of the stats that I thought were super crazy was the annual revenue for LinkedIn is 14.5 billion, and LinkedIn was acquired from Microsoft, I believe, for 23 billion, which kind of blows my mind, right? They make this every single year, like almost what they got purchased for. 3 new members are getting signed up on LinkedIn every second, and literally some of the stats that we saw on the last slide, 25 to 34 accounts for 59% of LinkedIn user base. So this is the fastest growing social media platform as far as professionals go. And this is where I recommend everyone spending a majority of their time out of all social media apps. If you're looking for a job or a new career, this is where to do it. 21% social media users, that's about a fifth out of all the other platforms. Right here, Microsoft acquired for 26 billion, sorry. And some other stats, 39,000 different skills are listed on LinkedIn. And I thought that was insane, right? People are actually being more active with their profiles. And today we're going to go over just that. Branding is everything on LinkedIn. So some of the main points is, what do you want to be known for on LinkedIn? What do you stand for? What do you value? And kind of what sets you apart? Are you proud father, mother, DI advocate, or an avid artist or soccer player, right? Differentiate yourself from the pack and, really showcase that on your LinkedIn, because it's the first thing people see on your profile. And also network. LinkedIn is all about networking. So if you're not doing that on LinkedIn, maybe that's time to start, right? Okay. LinkedIn optimization. So what we're going to do is get into breakout rooms, and we're going to dissect LinkedIn profiles from the top down or bottom up. What do you put on your LinkedIn? What should your cover photo look like? Do you have an attractive headshot? And do I put less? Do I put more? Do I list out all my skills and even content creation strategies? So I'm going to put everyone into breakout rooms, and we're going to go over this. Dan is going to take out half the crew, and I'll go half as well. So give me a moment while I set that up. Thanks for your patience. Okay. All righty. Okay. Okay, I think this is about even. Awesome. Okay, feel free to click on your breakout rooms. I'll take the rest of you guys right here. And I'll give Dan one more. Awesome. Okay, great. All right. I want to know in the chat, who wants their LinkedIn review? please drop your LinkedIn if you want your LinkedIn profile reviewed. Otherwise, I'm going to go over what I did in my LinkedIn that resulted me in all these opportunities, part of the 4-step framework. Anyone want their profile reviewed? Happy to share. Okay, CJ. Awesome. Yeah, feel free to drop your LinkedIn and I'll search it up. Okay. Great. Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Okay, Christina. Before we even begin, are you job searching right now?
Yes.
Awesome. What job are you looking for?
C-level executive assistant is what I'm trained in, so I guess that's what I'm looking for.
Okay, C-level executive assistant. So, okay, got it. All right, I'm going to start from the top down, just giving you a review. Please don't hate me if I'm a little, giving you some critique, but just initial, perceptions, and then we'll dive into like how to like optimize for it, right?
I
So,
appreciate it. Thank you.
yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. And then we'll try to get through everyone. I know everyone's kind of dropping their LinkedIn's now. You're the first, you're the pioneer, but nice. I like your profile picture. It shows like a nice headshot as well as like a half body shot. I totally recommend that, and a nice backdrop. Hello?
Go ahead.
Oh, can you guys mute yourself? I think it's K. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, so I know you guys have the I think a stock cover photo, and that's totally fine. However, if you want to be more creative, you can go on Canva and get something that really like helps you stand out amongst the pack. So that's what I recommend. And since you said you're looking for a C-level executive assistant, I see that you've put that on your headline. However, you can boost this up by putting more keywords. So I'm going to bring up my profile for an example. And you could say something along the lines of, I know I'm a business owner, but I say I help mentor job seekers land more interviews and their next role. And then formally, this is my social proof. I've been a tech recruiter for these companies. You could do something similar in a sense of like passionate executive assistant looking to join a Series A startup in AI, right? That tells me a little bit more about what you're about and what you're looking for next, right? And if you guys haven't already, get the ChatGPT prompts that we have that allow you guys to, assist you guys on this LinkedIn journey. So I want you guys to go to mphTechAcademy.com/ChatGPT ebook, and you can download the prompts and follow along, right? And these prompts look like this. I'm going to drop that in the chat really quick. And it's going to bring you to these 10 prompts right here. Okay. But yeah, you can ask ChatGPT to help you create a creative headline that helps you stand out. And you could also craft that for your About Me section. Any questions so far? What do you think about the feedback that I gave, Christina?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've thought about using like GBT. I don't even know what the short
GPT.
term anymore is. It's so lengthy. Um,
ChatGPT. Yeah.
even though I'm not a fan of it for different reasons, but
Um,
it can help with things you don't like to do
yeah.
because resume writing is not my jam.
Yeah, hey, it's a lot of people's, well, it's not their jam, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, use it to your advantage. Like it's there. I wouldn't say copy every single thing that it pumps out, but use it for an idea and then make it yours,
Okay.
right? So that's what I would change. And then your about me section, highly organized and detail oriented executive assistant with over 10 years, providing administrative support. Okay, awesome. Motivate, self-starter, creative and resourceful. Okay. Yeah, I like it. It's a basic about me section. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, and pretty standard across the board, what people would just naturally just put something there. But as a recruiter and as a person that sees like over 100 profiles a day, I would say something about yourself that really stands out aside from work. Right?
Mm.
Like I want to know, what does Christina do on her off time? Right? Like, do you have a family you love to play with? Do you have a dog that you love to go on hikes on in the Bay Area, for example? Right? But you're in the Los Angeles area. Nice. So am I. Right? But differentiate yourself and tell a story with this section because believe it or not, recruiters do look at this. And if I'm apples to apples with someone else, but you've written something more descriptive and more
Yeah.
passionate, you overcame something, I'm probably going to choose you because like you just stood out, right? And
Yeah. I notice them looking at it, but I don't necessarily get calls, or I get calls from places that are different fields, and I think they're just more curious than actual interested in me for the job. I feel like they're more interested in my background than they are interested in filling the position with me per se.
oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. No, I totally agree. Most people that you apply directly on their job board will just look at your resume, right? But
Mhm.
if you're on LinkedIn and you want to get searched on, right? Like where recruiters find you, this is where it's at, right?
So one other quick question I had is with having premium LinkedIn, we are able to see who has looked at our profile. Do you
Right.
think it's strange to reach out to a recruiter who has looked at your profile
Mhm.
and it's been a day and they didn't like reach out to you? Should you just leave it as it is, or go ahead and feel like got nothing to lose and reach out, or just let it be? I don't know what to do on those kind of things. Sometimes I'm really like, oh, that's a good one, but I don't do anything.
So like a recruiter looking at your profile, but
Yeah,
not.
just looking, but didn't reach out.
So I'll tell you that the fact that you're getting people looking at your profile means you're doing something right. How
Mhm.
many of those reach out that convert to a reach out, that's another story, right? If a ton of people are
Yeah.
looking at your profile but not reaching out to you for a role, what does that say?
Something's not, either they don't like my picture, I'm not young enough, or I feel like it's just, I don't know. I mean, it's a lot of experience at Warner Brothers, that's for certain.
Yeah, no, I definitely see that, right? But they're looking for someone like you, but maybe they're not getting the key points, perhaps,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
That's what that tells me. Like, oh, okay, I thought, you'd be a good fit initially, but after scanning your profile, there's something that maybe threw them off, or you're not showcasing your abilities to the max. But we'll definitely go over that. I think if you look at the slide deck, the about me section, experience section as well. This is what we're going to get into the meat of, right? But I was going to go over the about me section and why it's kind of important. And this is to provide insight of who you are and what you do. But you provided what you do, but I want to know who you are.
I'm afraid that that's like too Facebooky and not for LinkedIn. Like, I listen to a lot of podcasts, always wanting to learn, love learning, always learning in my spare time. It's ridiculous.
No, I'm so glad you mentioned that, and you're actually not alone. So many of my students feel like, no, I don't want to post anything on LinkedIn. It's like creepy. And
Yeah.
me, I'm thinking, right? You said, yeah, you confirmed it. But like, if you're trying to network and find a job, why wouldn't you be on this platform? Why wouldn't you showcase everything yet that you're possibly doing? And you can still hide very personal information like your contact, but you can showcase what you've done. And trust me, you're already on the internet. The fact that you have a LinkedIn profile, period, you're already on the internet. Why not just showcase your employer everything that you've accomplished to make it so that you're the candidate they choose?
Some of it's pretty old. Like I did like movie screener ticket design for stuff like Gangster Squad and The Hobbit and stuff like that. That's kind of archaic. It's not current, so I don't have it on there anymore. So I took some of that stuff off there, the images of like what I've created, because it's not I'm not into graphic arts, but I'm just that person that like whatever you need done, even if I don't know how to do it, I get it done. Or just like the fixer of shit. Like,
Yeah, I mean, personally, that sounds really cool to me. And you don't have to necessarily put in your experience section because it's not as quote unquote relevant to you.
Yeah.
But if I saw that on a project and I saw maybe like I don't know, like the portfolio or the trailer, that's gonna add some value to you. Best believe, right? I don't think we can refute on that. So if you can showcase that somewhere while a recruiter's like scanning your profile, literally like this, and it pops up into a featured section of highlighted work, that's going to differentiate you immediately. So, and for those that don't know, a featured section right here, this is my profile, featured, boom. You can have all the different projects that you've listed, or like any viral posts or anything that you stand for, maybe an article written about you right here, featured. Right. And that's going to help you get that social proof that you're looking for immediately, boom, right to your portfolio. So
I had no training. I just did it.
yes. Well, hey, that's why we're on here, right? Like,
yeah.
Perfect. And then as I quickly go through your experience, you said you're looking for executive assistant role.
Yeah.
And the reason why I asked that is because a lot of people know to tailor their resume, but sometimes they don't tailor their LinkedIn. But I'll tell you that sometimes recruiters look at your LinkedIn first. When a recruiter is searching up for, let's just say, an executive assistant like you, there is passive talent that we have to search through. Do you guys know the difference between passive and active?
I do reading wise, but I don't know what you mean as far as LinkedIn wise.
Reading wise. Okay, so an active application or candidate would be someone that's actively on the job search and they're applying,
Okay.
right? And so you'll see like 100 applicants for that role for Warner Brothers. But these companies, Warner Brothers or like other companies like Google, they'll have recruiters in-house that look for a specific talent. They want the people actually not applying. They want that person that's happy in their role, that's not even looking for a role, that's totally, we're like headhunting now. Now, to get to that, they're going to click on different filters, and I'll show you guys really quick. I saw this screenshot from LinkedIn.com. This is how LinkedIn Recruiter looks like for us. So if we're looking for a project manager, we can search by a title, or in your case, executive assistant. Then we'll add the locations where they want to be, skills, right? These are all things that we're looking for in an ideal candidate. But look, 1,000 candidates popped up, but Ramit Amiral popped up first. Why is that? It's because he's knowledgeable of using the LinkedIn algorithm, putting all the skills, putting all the project, the headers properly that matches all this criteria. Right? You see that? So now you're telling LinkedIn, hey, this might be your ideal candidate because it's exactly what you put in. What you put in is what you get. You see that? Like Google search. You might be searching for the best restaurants in the area, best 5-star Asian restaurants that have seating, outdoor seating. That's very specific, but why does it pop up that specific restaurant? Because that specific restaurant has a blog or is featured that has all those different keywords. You guys following me here? Is it starting to kind of like all kind of connect into the bigger picture of how a recruiter thinks and how you would be found? Yeah. So yeah, so like if you reverse engineer your profile to match the criteria that the recruiter is looking for, sorry to jump around, then you'll be more easily found. That being said, with your experience, what I see so far, must pay close attention to detail, maintain confidentiality. Okay.
Well, I've gotten a lot of these words out of actual job posts because I mean, I don't think about it when I'm doing it, what I'm doing, to be quite honest. And everyone says, this doesn't even like tell half of what you do. I said, well, you know, what it's like, you know, it's not my jam, you know.
Yeah, and that's why we got to use ChatGPT, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've paid people, did work on my resume for me. I've tried it like a million times and you're constantly updating it with new jobs or whatever, but it's challenging to toot your own horn, so to speak. So
Yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from. Initially, it was kind of like cringy for me to talk about myself, but if you don't talk highly of yourself, especially during an interview or your profile, who else will, right? So one thing that I noticed quickly is you use bullet points here, but none over here. So that's a quick,
yeah.
right? So maybe like adding some bullet points and staying consistent, because this is actually a reflection of your resume, right?
It's detail oriented.
Yeah.
Or not.
I called that out right there. So, right, if I'm the recruiter looking at your profile for that C-level executive assistant, I'm going to say, probably not the most detail oriented right here.
Yeah. I think I have to paste it so many times that day, and I just forgot to double check the dots on it because it's my stuff, and I'm like, I'm half-hearted, kind of doing it.
Exactly. But what you can do, if you'd like to create an attractive profile, is go back to the ChatGPT prompts, and we have one for summary. We also have one for, like, let's just say job experience, right? One thing that you can do is, I've done this. How can you tailor this towards the next job I'm applying for? Right? So you could say something like this, and I'll show you guys a quick live example right here. So you would go to jobs, and you said executive assistant is what you're looking for.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, everyone says I should be beyond that at this point, but it's my skill level. So
Hey, it's all good. I mean, everyone's at their own like pace and level, right? This one kind of caught my eye. 100 to 120K for executive assistant to the president of SF Bay University. And notice how it already has a hiring team right here. This is for the next section. But I want you guys to notice this, that you guys can send a direct message. And a lot of people probably aren't utilizing this, right? But okay, notice all the prime responsibilities and notice your current responsibilities. How do you kind of match that up with your current responsibilities, right? That's the most confusing part that you would pay maybe like a mentor or a resume writer for. But we have good old ChatGPT to help us out. So let's try this, right? I'm going to go to ChatGPT, and you guys can follow along with your own profiles. But you can say, give it more descriptions and context versus less, right? So my current experience is, and then put brackets, and I'm just going to copy and paste what you put in your profile and give it the job title. So, oops, sorry, all over the place right here. Okay, this is your profile. I'm going to go back. I'm going to copy the profile of executive assistant right here. And then I'm going to go into ChatGPT and paste that in. executive assistant, period, right? And we're not going to hit enter yet. We're going to copy and paste the job description that we're applying for as well, right? So you can copy and paste this whole thing.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah. Well, let's see if it works, because sometimes if you feed it too much information, ChatGPT just explodes.
Okay.
Right? So we're gonna do, that's my current experience. I am applying for another executive assistant role, and here are the job duties. And then brackets again, paste everything in, and then one more sentence to make sure it knows what to do. Can you tailor my experience? Let's see if that works. Look at that. So
I didn't know you could ask it a question and get a response.
yeah, you can
I
even
didn't
ask
realize
it.
it was that intuitive.
Yeah, very intuitive. Well, this is part of the session. This is what we also teach in our course, that goes step by step. We have a ChatGPT course integrated in our career course that has all the prompts. So this is just one of them, right? And these are some of the things that are highlighted that you should be speaking about, right? You can even condense this into relevant bullet points, right? So you can ask it a question, or like, can you rephrase, can you make this more concise? And now it's going to shorten everything, right? And that's how you,
Nice. Very
cool.
nice.
Okay, nice. Well, yeah, that's what you can do for here, so that you can think of different bullet points that are relevant for your next role. Okay. And finishing up, I just want to have time for other people as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Hopefully that was helpful.
Yeah, it was. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. Education looks fine. Awesome. Skills. You have 50 skills. See, so that's awesome that you're already utilizing the skills. Like a recruiter would do a search, there's certain skill sets that they're going to look for. If they're hiring for a sales role, they're going to look for prospecting, outreach, cold calls. So make sure to put those skills on there. For you, you got to think of what are some skills that an executive assistant would be more proficient in, and just put those in there. And I noticed you have 50 skills. So if you had a, I don't know, a retail job in the past and you got endorsed for that, but it's not so relevant now, take those skills out so that you give more weight to your next role.
Yeah, Barnes and Noble, I worked at 10 years, but
yeah, totally. But this is a quick refresher, right? And this is great that I think now you know how you can utilize ChatGPT to kind of boost up your profile. And you're literally right there, right? Just utilize a little bit of the about me section and rewrite a little bit more personal if you feel comfortable. And then the experience section as well. And I think you're good to go once you update your headline as well. And then try applying again. You could even do a test, and I guarantee you'll get more hits. Okay. Cool. All right. Next, let's see. Christina, we have Kay Shawa. Right. Kalunga. Awesome. You added me. I appreciate that. For everyone that doesn't have my LinkedIn, I'm going to drop in the chat. Feel free to add me, and we'll go from there. Kalunga, are you in here? Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you are. I can't see your face. Maybe you dropped, perhaps. Okay. I'm going to review someone that's on the chat so we can go through it. So I'm going to go to the next person. We'll circle back to you if you come back. Next is Harshleen.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for attending.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so um, what job are you seeking right now?
I'm trying to like pivot from health to more like management roles. So like trying to get into tech sales. I
Oh,
felt like would be a good way to get started. So looking at like business development representative roles right now.
got it, got it. Okay. I'm just curious, what sparked the transition into that, the pivot?
Yeah, well, I was trying to get into professional school and it didn't really work out in my favor. So I was like, I need other alternate plans. And then I did a marketing program these past 5 months where
Mhm.
I was able to gain some certifications. And that's kind of what really sparked my interest to get started into the field.
Nice. Awesome. Good on you for that. Just keep striving, right? Keep pushing forward. There's other avenues to go into, right? That will lead you to very similar areas eventually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just been very difficult though. I
got it.
mean, especially with the market and everything.
Got it. So are you applying for sales roles already?
Yeah. I've like gone through many interviews too, but it's just like landing an offer seems, I don't know, I feel like every time I reach the end, they're just like, oh, sorry, it's the lack of experience, and they just kind of move forward with someone else.
Got it. What do you think it could be?
I guess lack of experience. I don't know.
I'm going to be really honest with you, right? So there's pros and cons for what you just told me. Pro is you are getting interviews, which means your resume that you're submitting, that tells me that it's very relevant, but the fact that they're not progressing forward means you said something during the interview that maybe threw them off, right?
Mm,
So that's more of a mid to bottom funnel um,
okay.
issue versus like a top of funnel, which is more like the LinkedIn. But I can see some things that we can put on your LinkedIn that could definitely stand out, right? And
Okay.
we'll go over into interview prep on our third or fourth session. Um,
Hmm.
and yeah, if you're joined in on the meetup group, you'll be notified for that. So yeah, but quickly, I see that, you don't have the cover photo, so it would be awesome if you had a cover photo. You can quickly go to canva.com, right,
Hmm.
to get a cover photo that really helps you stand out. I really like your profile picture. You look super friendly and warm. Nice background. Sometimes people don't like putting backgrounds in their picture, and they'll put like a white or a contrasting color to make
Hmm.
you pop out even more. So I see that there's an orange background. So if you want maybe a contrasting color or even remove it, that could help you like stand out a little bit more,
I
right?
see. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah. And you can go to backgroundremoval.com or like just Google it too. But
Hmm. Okay.
that okay. And I see that you've put in some things that you've done already, right? Marketing strategist, project manager, healthcare specialist. But to me, as a recruiter that's recruiting for sales, if I saw that, I'm going to think, okay, what do you want to do? Right?
Mm.
I'm confused. Or like, why are you a healthcare project manager, marketing? Like, which field are you trying to get into, or have you done all three? A confused recruiter most likely means like maybe you're giving off confusion as well on your end is what they're going to think, right? So they're going to end up maybe potentially leaving your profile immediately because they
Mm.
want someone more sales oriented. Would you agree?
Yeah, okay. That was kind of the hard part for me, just figuring out like a header because I just felt like I should just write things that I've done in the past to tell them more about like the roles I had, like leadership opportunities.
Yeah, and that's totally fine to have something in there, but if you're trying to target more specific roles, it
Yeah.
it's very important to keep it very clear for the reader or the
Mm,
person that stumbled
okay.
on, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. Let's even try this. I'm gonna copy this. I don't think I've
Yeah.
ever done this because I haven't encountered a profile like yours. But let's put this in ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT that we want to go into a sales role and see what it pumps out. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna say my LinkedIn headline is currently, and then just paste in what you put, and then period. I want to recreate a headline or tech sales.
Yeah.
Can you do that? Okay, so it basically changed up the wording, right?
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Marketing strategist, project manager, healthcare specialist. So right off the gate, what I can see that would throw people off is the healthcare specialist part.
Okay.
Project management and marketing strategist is still relative and can be applicable if you want to go into tech.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think mentioning something like that, and then if you've done any type of strategic account management, that speaks to sales too.
Okay.
So make sure to put that, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. And then let's see, just moving on. You have a huge about section, right? Totally different from Christine's.
Yeah, I don't know. It's different.
Yeah, no, that's
Maybe
awesome.
it's a lot.
So just skimming this, I see that you have a lot of I see co-op right off the bat, significant impact in the tech space, right?
hmm
And then you talk about your co-founder. Wow. Okay, you started a company?
No, it was like a podcast for a leadership development program.
Got it. Okay. Okay. So I just kind of skimmed it.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of achievements that you want to highlight, obviously, but I would condense this a little bit.
Okay.
And you want to tell a story of why you're trying to go into tech sales right now. You want to
Mm,
craft that story,
okay.
right? Because the first thing a recruiter is going to look at when they're on your profile is going to be like, okay, I see, let's just say we change it to account management, project manager, but they're still reading on. This about me section is the next thing they're going to be reading next
hmm
to your experience to see why you're switching and what are you about. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So crafting a story of saying like being in healthcare made me realize I love helping people, but I wanted to do it more technically and in
Uh,
the IT space. Oh, wow. That's why she wanted to go into tech sales. And then I
okay.
realized I just love the art of having conversations and with business owners or maybe people in
Mhm.
general. And that's really sparked. And that's going to be like, oh, that's why.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. And feel free to use ChatGPT if you're thinking of ideas for that. But yeah. And then
Okay.
just quickly moving on, maybe having uh time for one more profile after this too, but account specialist. Okay. One thing that I want everyone to note is, oh, nice, you already have sales specialists here. So you're already probably ranking for sales specialists in the algorithm somehow because you put this.
hmm
But I want you to think of the next role that you're applying for and what's the most relevant title for that.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you're an account, if you wanted to be an account manager,
hmm
you can switch this to account manager while still having the same duties, right? And
Oh,
instead of,
really? I wouldn't make it like a negative profile because I don't have experience in account manager.
yeah, so what I meant by that is if it still pertains to what you did, because an account manager manages accounts, and if you truly didn't do that, don't put that. But the
Oh, okay.
but the manager title, from what I can initially read, can be very
Mhm.
ambiguous. Anyone can be a manager.
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm
Gotcha.
saying? So
Yeah.
putting an account manager, but you've showcasing duties and you explain exactly what you've done
hmm
in here will give me a better idea, like what kind of manager were you,
Okay.
right? You can say
Yeah.
business development manager, sales manager, what type of manager? So be more specific with this will help you rank.
Okay.
Okay. And yeah, I saw that you're account specialist, but you have sales specialist. It might even make sense to change this to sales specialist as well. And the reason being is because of years of experience, right?
Okay.
So if someone looks at your profile and they said, I need 3 years of experience for this sales role, but they look really quickly and they're like, okay, sales specialist and account specialist, that might be two different things. You might not even pop up on LinkedIn for them. You see what I'm
Okay.
saying? And I'm going to show you guys a quick example. But look, this is how kind of LinkedIn Recruiter works. I'm going to type in sales specialist. And although this is the free version of like what everyone has access to, this is basically a little taste of what the LinkedIn Recruiter would look like for actual recruiters trying to find people like you guys. So I typed up sales specialist and 9 million results came in, but I'm going to filter. I'm going to filter, let's just say people in, where are you located? Personally?
Chicago.
Chicago? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just say Chicago, Illinois. There you go. Just from that filter alone, there's 42,000 from 9 million. I'm going to keep adding more filters because I really want to get specific with my search so I can find the perfect candidate. Like I'm looking for you, for example.
Right.
Right. And I want that past person maybe even to have a school. What school did you go?
It's the one above that.
This one?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Let's see if we can kind of like find you. And if not, we can reverse engineer why. And then you see the industry that I'm filtering out from as well. Like, let's just say I wanted someone previously with a health background. I could add that too. Right? Sure. Let's see that. Now we're getting super specific. Let's see if it even pops up anything because that's very, very specific. Oh, 70 people. You see that? There's 70 people that fit all these different criterias right here for the job search. But if you look at their profiles, let's see what these people are putting. Why those 70 popped up is what you should be thinking. Right? So I put sales specialist, but like with our parameters, it gave us this profile. So she doesn't have too much, but the specialist probably was triggered. Let's go over to see if we have a better specialist right here, sales specialist, senior program manager. Okay, let me just put in one more filter. Title, sales. Okay, now it's asking LinkedIn. Okay, that was too specific. No one is putting that filter in. You see what I'm saying? But if we put sales, it's going to definitely populate everyone that has the title of sales. Sales strategist, sales. It was pretty specific. Let's remove this one filter and see to prove my point. There you go, 341 results. All these people have sales specialists or sales in their title. See, so maybe even putting that for your LinkedIn is going to be beneficial for you. Okay. Right? Or like looking to go into tech sales or specialists, right? So that's going to help you out, especially if you're getting reviews. All right.
Okay.
Cool. Was that helpful?
Yeah, that was. I will definitely like fix the header because I think that just gave me a lot of clarity that I think writing health is kind of throwing people off. That what is she, does she really want to go into tech sales or is she in health? So probably.
Exactly. So you're painting a story with your whole LinkedIn profile, right?
Yeah.
And you're pretty much halfway there. You just need to refine it. And I also noticed the activity you've commented on a post 4 months ago. Try to be more active with this profile because I will see other activities happen and it might even show up on my profile if I'm a tech recruiter for sales. And that's how you start changing up the algorithm, right? So it's kind of reverse engineering, like how recruiters think and how the algorithm works. And then you're going to actually start popping up. Then maybe even practicing on the interview that we went over, right? To boost up your interview skills. Okay.
Yeah, of course. Sounds good. Thank you so much, Brian.
Of course, yeah. Looks like I'm sorry, we're kind of short on time, but if anyone wants their LinkedIn reviewed, we can have another session. Ronald, I'll review your sesh offline for you if you'd like. But let's go back into the main room and just close up. Let's see here. Stop sharing for a sec and bring everyone back. Podcast. All righty. I'm curious, what was one thing that you guys learned that you didn't know so far that was like huge for you?
I actually learned a lot personally. I didn't realize how intuitive AI was because I was an English major, and we're all a little angsty about it. But I also know there's kind of a place and an ability, and there's a place for everything in my mindset personally. I try not to worry about things in the future, when you're trying to make today's decisions. I mean, you can do the best what you can, but no, I learned that you can actually post questions in there. I had no idea that you could do that. So that will be helpful in rewriting my resume.
Awesome. Yeah. The more information you give ChatGPT and the more you treat it like a human, it actually responds to you with a more robust answer. Yeah, so that's awesome. Anyone else huge learnings from today? I'm curious. Maybe from Dan's group as well.
I think the thing that stuck out to me most was incorporating my like hard skills into my about section. That was one thing that I wasn't doing. So
Nice. Yeah. So, I mean, LinkedIn is just like a search engine similar to Google. If you have those into your about section and you're crafting a story about your personal and professional experience, that's going to help you stand out even more. Right? So huge.
actually a question on that.
Yeah, sure.
What would you limit that to? Because on my resume, at the very bottom, I do have, a very large number of like the programs that I'm familiar working with, the different softwares, stuff like that. What would you limit that to in the about section? Because I don't want to just like spam it. You're on mute.
Sorry. I'd say maybe like 3 paragraphs is enough, and make sure to cover any job transitions that you have. So let's just say we had one in the previous breakout room where transitioning from marketing to sales, maybe kind of paint the picture why, and then throw some of those keywords of your accomplishments and what you've done in the past that are relative towards your next role. So we're always gauging towards the future role, right?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. And do you recommend having like a more enthusiastic tone or more of just like a very straightforward, direct sort of a way of putting it?
However you'd like to put it, right? Whoever your personality is, try to show that in the profile as best as you can. Okay. So you can also tell ChatGPT, can you be more enthusiastic about that?
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, going back really quick to the slide deck that everyone should have. And if you don't have it, let me know. But this is the key points I want you guys to kind of remember. And this was discussed on the last one too, but remember to take action, right? Everything that we talked about, please implement something to move the needle. Don't let this be like, oh, that was a cool webinar. All right, next. What's the next webinar? You're just absorbing information, not taking action. Then customize your communication to every single person that you reach out to, right? Have it tailored just like you would your resume. And then start networking with those individuals that you think could open more doors for you. This is the key. Like we went over in my session, there was a hiring team listed under a job description. Talk to that person. You never know if they would reply back to you and just connect with you and saying like, hey, thanks for reaching out. Yeah, I'd love to have a conversation. Boom. There's your referral. There's your interview. Right. And then, of course, stay motivated. I know applying to 100+ jobs can be very demotivating, but I saw an article today that gave some hope that said September surge is coming and tech layoffs are like gone and they're being reduced. So I think it's a slow but surely process where the economy is starting to look back up. So please, stay focused, have a core group, and avoid these pitfalls of overthinking and having negative bias, and avoid being too narrow in your search, right? If you're in marketing, maybe you could expand into digital marketing, content strategist, social media marketing. Just be a little bit more open with your search. And last but not least, these are just some reviews that we had from prior meetings, but we'd love to help out. If you guys are interested in the course that we offer, the 4-step framework, we go through module by module, step by step on how you can land your dream job. You can visit this, and a special offer just for everyone in the MPH meetup group. It's MPH meetup for $50 off. So feel free to just check that profile out. I'll drop the link right here for you guys. And yeah, next week's webinar is going to be job search strategy. So everything that we implemented this week, we're going to actually start job searching. Okay. And we're going to go over the 3x3 rule, how to get a referral, and how to apply to other job boards. Cool. All right. Any other questions that you guys want answered? Any feedback? Great. Cool. Dan, any last words?
Yeah, again, like the LinkedIn optimization and even the resume is just one key step in terms of just getting your profile noticed, getting your resume noticed. I kind of, like I said in my group, the most important part, my personal opinion, is the job search strategy and also the interview prep side of things, because that's kind of where you can showcase your unique self and how to close those interviews. Again, LinkedIn and resume, that's just to get noticed and get that first call. It's the moment you get that first call, that's kind of where you start to kind of really close that interview. So that's all it takes. Just takes one person to notice your resume to get a call back. And all it takes is that first recruiter screen where you can really set yourself going forward. So again, that's why how important this 4-step framework is.
Awesome. Well said. Well, thank you all for attending. Our next session is going to be next week. Join our meetup group to get notified for our next session. Thank you all again. Appreciate it. All right. See you guys.